21 skidoo.
What's the worst that could happen?
I don't know.
Let me tell you.
Let's find out, shall we? Or
can we? Can I have time to? What am I trying to say? Can I have time to pimp Extra Life at the top of the show?
You can do whatever you want, Greg.
Okay. After you're done the intros?
Do what? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it to it.
All right. Okay. Hello and welcome to episode 571 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, October 17th, 2017. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. It's not snowing here yet, so it's great.
Ah.
We're in the midst of doing the big summer to winter clothing switcheroo. So it's getting there. We've had some cold days.
I see. In Atlanta, it's very confusing because we'll have days that are like 80 and followed by days that are highs in the 40s and 50s. Like
that
around
means nothing
time,
to me, but it sounds like
you can't prepare for whether it's going to be cold or hot because you don't even know. Like even if you look at the weather report, oftentimes you just don't know. You don't know.
Thanks, Obama.
Mystery. That's right. And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald. Hello.
Somebody once told me the world was going to roll me.
Oh,
I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kind of dumb with her fingers and her thumb in the shape of a nail on her forehead.
You doing that song in the style of Eddie Vedder or something?
Well, the years start coming and they don't.
I think we've lost half our audience.
I miss Ethan.
I hit the ground running.
Can we talk about loot boxes
for fun?
Yeah. We're gonna talk about that if you continue.
That the ESRB does not believe that loot crates count as gambling.
We're going to go on. We're not going to talk about this week, but we just want our listeners to know, and we can speak for Ethan since he's not here. That is the official position of the Player One podcast as well.
Yep. Loot crates do not count as gambling.
So say we all. All right. Well.
That's all the loot crate discussion we're going to have this week.
And that's our show for this week.
Yeah, exactly. So this past Friday was Friday the 13th, and we tried to play some Friday the 13th game.
Well.
It didn't go well for at least the first hour.
What happened?
Nothing.
Had some server problems the first hour that we were trying to play, so we couldn't even get into a lobby. But
was this a problem on the game's end?
It was on the game's end, yeah.
Because you'd think like the one day they should have like kind of doubled down to make sure they didn't have any problems.
They marketed it like they were. I mean, that was the point.
That was
right?
the problem.
They were marketing that it was Friday the 13th, and they pushed an
update.
Yep,
new DLC pack. They had
I dare say their marketing worked too well.
Yeah, worked too well, and we weren't able to connect for the first hour that we were on. But we were streaming a chat with Mudron and hacker alias Pete Za.
I was live chatting my my NASCAR run while I was waiting for the rooms to work.
Yeah, and then you only played like one game.
I'm so terrible at that game, and it's like, oh look, I died. I died like a minute into it, and then I had nothing to do for 10 minutes.
It's fine. Being terrible is fun. I'm terrible at the game.
Yeah, I watched you for a while. You're right. You are.
I just didn't play because once again, you guys timed playing the Friday the 13th game during prime. My son is going to be eating and watching TV hours. So
I asked you on Slack if you were gonna make it, and you were like, "Oh yeah, sure, oh yeah,
yeah." And then I realized
until after midnight.
Time. Yeah, exactly.
So what time does your kid go to bed? 11. He's a real night owl. Finn.
Dude loves Jimmy Fallon, so he's up every night just
We let him stay up. He likes
giggling.
Fallon. He can't miss a James Corden show.
He's like, watch it. Whose hair is Fallon gonna ruffle next? I can't wait to see.
All right.
Wow.
Get it?
So we played.
Get it? Get it?
No. So we played Friday the 13th, and it was fun when it started working.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good game.
It is a fun.
I'm just terrible at it.
A fun time.
Yeah, and I did carry the battery halfway across Crystal Lake though in the first game, so I was pretty proud of that.
There you go. Internet high five, brother. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But speaking of playing games on a stream, you wanna tell us about something there?
Yeah, I'm gonna pimp this at the top of the show. So 3 weeks away from Extra Life 2017. I am about $8,000 away from my goal. So please donate if you can. extra-life.org/participant/Seward, or if you want something easier to remember, tinyurl.com/Seward. All of your donations are tax deductible. They all go directly to that MK Health Center here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. If you donate at least $40 or more, you can choose a game for me to play on the stream on the November 4th or 5th. We're doing TurboGrafx games this year. I still have about 20 slots left open, so come help me build my schedule for those 2 days. And for every $5 you donate, your name will be entered into a raffle to win one of 2 Super Nintendo Classics.
Wow.
Boom. We're doing it. Yeah.
So tinyurl.com/Seward. Please remember, please donate. It's for a great cause, and I want to break that $10,000 mark this year. I know we can do it.
And you have 20 slots left open?
I do.
And almost as many opportunities to tell you what games to play.
Huh?
It's an orifice joke.
Oh.
Let's count them together, shall we?
And the other thing is please come watch on those 2 days. I'll be streaming on the 4th and the 5th, 12 hours each day. And I've got, because my listeners are so generous, I've got tons of game codes to give away.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's awesome.
So yeah.
Nice.
What, like Steam codes and stuff? Or?
Yep. Some Steam, some PSN, some Xbox.
Man.
It's everything.
All kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah. People are awesome.
All kinds of stuff. It's going to be a fun time.
It is.
And speaking of streaming, this week I think we're going to do another review.
Yes, we doing that Wednesday night?
Wednesday night.
Is this your big Star Fox one?
Probably like 9 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, we're going to do
good.
Star Fox Adventures.
Ooh.
It's going to be
that's a bad game.
Well,
yeah, if you read Game Now, it wasn't, but
if you believe one Shane Bettenhausen, it was like an 8.
Who reviewed that garbage in Game Now?
Ethan.
Who always gave questionable games high scores.
Exactly.
I was thinking about that the other day. Yeah, that's why we kicked him off the show this week. I was thinking about that the other day. I feel like that's partially my fault because I screwed up his I just screwed up his whole idea of what a good game was. Mm-hmm. He had to review so many crappy Game Boy Color games for each game. That is right. Just the bar was lowered so low. I mean,
suddenly the Austin Powers game was looking pretty good.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? When you say that one of the Austin Powers games is actually worth buying, something is snapped in there.
You know what we got to do? We got to take him to a burnt out factory, get a couple cans of baby food, and automatically aim and recalibrate him like RoboCop.
Wow. That was an obscure reference that I got right from the start.
Deep cut.
Yeah.
Deep cut.
Yeah, it was a deep cut. That was a great movie.
That was crazy. And then that time RoboCop had to recalibrate his baby food shooters. Yeah. I'm the Family Guy. It's like that time Mr. T and Wilford Brimley went to the moon on the Orville ship. Yeah, I'm the Family Guy. Did you ever see that show, The Family Guys?
No.
It's
like a Simpsons spinoff? Is that what it was?
It's kind of like The Simpsons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a spinoff of Tracy Ullman?
Also? Oh.
No, it's Tracy Ullman was a spinoff of The Family Guys.
Oh.
That's where she originated.
Head around that.
That's where she originated her crazy cast of lovable characters.
There you go.
Tracy Ullman.
So Humble Bundle got acquired by IGN. IGN
really pissed about this.
Just sucking up all of the stuff.
Can't spell unfortunate acquisition without IGN.
Can I
wait a second?
I don't
Hold on. Wait.
I don't think that's true.
Can't spell unfortunate acquisitioning.
There you
without
go.
IGN.
Got it.
That's better.
Finally.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah. So that's a thing. They acquired Ziff Davis, and now they have acquired Humble Bundle.
They're just sick of people getting cheap games. Is that what's going on? Or
I don't know, but it sounds like Humble Bundle is going to continue doing their charity indie packs, and that the acquisition, they say it's not going to add in any significant changes.
Doesn't every company always say that when they acquire a company? Literally the first press release is always, this company's always done business. It's great, and they have loyal fans, and we don't want to mess up a good thing. So nothing's really going to change. And then 6 months later, everyone's fired.
Tack that word really in there, or there's no insignificant changes.
Define significant.
Complete gutting of the organization and retooling it all. Yeah.
I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
We'll see.
Hopefully things don't change too much. I have no idea how Humble Bundle was doing. If it's was it making money? Is it a money? It didn't ever seem like something that would have made tons of money, but maybe that's just me.
Well, I mean, they have the Humble Store, and then they also do
that's true.
Bundles for charity, and I would imagine that they were making some amount of money.
I feel like there's a conflict of interest there.
Kind of, yeah.
Because I mean, IGN reviews these.
But didn't
games.
what was it? Didn't Ziff Davis buy some download service? You remember when that happened?
Happy Puppy.
Well, I think there was that.
Did they buy Happy Puppy? I think they did.
I think you're right.
Did they really? I didn't know that. I was just joking.
There was some other download.com or something that Ziff.
Oh yeah, I think.
Right.
Back when Ziff Davis owned all the greatest URLs on the planet. Videogames.com. Downloads.com.
GameSpot still
freeporn.com.
Yeah. Nuke.com.
Nuke.com.
Nuke.
Duke. I think Nuke and video games.
By the way, one of those they didn't own. You can guess which one. The listeners can guess which one of those they didn't own. Okay. Maybe they did own freeporn.com. I don't know.
Possible. I'm sure that's not being used at all.
Let me check. Phil, you could probably just tell us.
You know what? It's not as free as they like to advertise.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. Did you guys see that new Mario Odyssey commercial there?
Nope.
Thing? No?
Moving on.
Well, you should check it out. And Nintendo also
hold on.
Put out a 5.5 minute. Oh God.
I'm watching.
A 5.5 minute trailer for Mario Odyssey that goes over some of the things we already knew and introduces some new things like an assist function. So it's like an assist mode that you can toggle on for younger players who are not as familiar with games to keep them on the critical path of the level, which puts little blue arrows on the ground there, which I think is a fantastic idea.
I am all in on that. I don't like everything Nintendo does, but they have been getting easy modes and assist modes right for a long time. I love that they do that stuff. It makes the game so much more accessible.
It does.
I think it's terrible because how will kids get good?
That's true. Yep. It will not help them with their Dark Souls run. But
Phil, I think this is the birth of a new a new character, internet commentator. You should just do a voice when you do these things, and then people will know that you're joking. But also,
how are these kids gonna get good?
Making a satirical comment.
Sound like some kind of New York gangster from The Sopranos.
How are these kids gonna get good?
Sound like
and I realized that the Sopranos was New Jersey gangsters, but
well, whatever. I don't know. I don't know.
Phil,
my kid's not going through Dark Souls perfect runs by age 7. I want nothing more to do with them.
I have no son.
Do you have on your Switch? Do you have an account for Finn?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I do indeed. he helped design his Mii, and he picked a little pose that it shows up in on his icon. And when he plays Pokken Tournament DX, he busts out his little profile, and
nice.
He loves. I'm not even towing the company line there. The kid loves Pokken Tournament DX.
Yeah.
What can I say? What can I say? This is all you have to play.
or he's out of the will.
Get good.
Get good.
All right. Hey, Phil.
Hey, well, geez, what?
You've probably been playing Ys 8 Lacrimosa of
I think we've all
Dana,
played
right?
this.
Yeah, I've played some Ys 8 Lacrimosa of Dana.
What do you feel about the localization?
You know what? I think it is an outstanding localization. I don't see a thing wrong with it. And you know what would devastate me? So attached to this current localization as I am, if there was something that changed in this localization, even one line, I would be heartbroken.
Well, I'm sorry to say that NIS America President Takuro Yamashita has apologized officially.
What?
The quality
the apology
of the localization, and they promised to do better. And I didn't even realize that there was a problem with this localization, but apparently fans on the internet are not pleased with it.
Well, have you seen some of the screens?
No,
I'm not terribly far in the game. I will be honest. And the bits that I've gotten to, the translation doesn't seem, that bad or anything. But I saw a bunch of screenshots from scenes later in the game, and there's some pretty questionable word choices.
There's one here on this Game Informer story that we're going to link to in the show notes. And it's a character.
It's about the big hole
saying, no. I want to hear about that in a second.
Yeah, really.
It says, do something about this. If I am ever in need of assistance.
There you go.
What is that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a bad translation.
Context.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
Bad translation. There's at some point there's a giant, I don't know if it's a chasm or canyon or something like that. But it just gets translated as big hole.
Okay.
And there's a kind of humorous line about how the character Dana in the game, the titular Dana.
This is a family show.
Well, I don't make up the words. I'm just a family guy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They're talking about how the big hole will be a great place for Dana or something like that. It's a weird kind of questionable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Area names like Crevice of Archaeozoic era were changed to the much more awkward Archaeozoic Big Hole.
There you go.
I don't see the problem. Why do we need an apology for that?
Let me tell you about my
Seems
moist
fine.
hollows.
My moist hollows.
Oh, boy.
Apparently, Japanese press were picking up stories on the strange localization.
Oh yeah,
that seems bad.
Wasn't an 8-4 joint, was it?
They're gonna fix it apparently, and there'll be a patch in late November.
But see, what if you're halfway through the game and then when they have the right name for the big hole, like you spend the rest of the time looking for the big hole? Like, well, I was told.
What if you've been playing this whole time and then they patch it and you didn't think about it and all the item names and all the
right?
I don't know.
Something tells me if you're playing this game
for the big hole,
you probably know about the problem. I'm guessing. You probably read on the internet.
What you need to do is get good at translating.
Yeah, the Naruto.
Would you like to see me do my Naruto run?
No.
Okay,
fine. I would actually. You can do that on camera.
I don't think I have enough room.
I really want to see this.
I would if I had the room. Tell you what, next year at Scoop Fest, I will Naruto run across the stage.
I want to see it. I really do.
Okay.
No, it used to make me laugh how people were, would say Naruto is like this adult show because he says shit all the time, like on these fan subs. translate the word, saying Kuso, and that's shit. You know, like he swears.
Yeah.
But then the English dubs, they don't swear, and that's not
right.
It used to crack me up. Anyway,
because nothing says mature content ahead like Naruto.
Wow, hacker alias NTSC says I want to see Phil run at all.
Let's go back to our previous discussion.
Listen,
while you were ingesting chocolate donuts.
Don't make me run, I'm full of chocolate.
If I get enough headway.
Oh, that was a rare Greg
Downhill
voice on the show. That's great.
Give me enough room. The problem's not, you know what? People might poke fun. The problem's not the running, it's the stopping. You know,
I feel it's probably the running.
Once you get that much momentum going, it's like a runaway freight train.
For what it's worth,
what?
Apparently, the gravity around the Hudson Bay area and surrounding areas in Canada is actually lower than it is in other parts of the world. So, if you're going to run, you should run there.
Ooh, well, okay.
And Phil needs a big runoff area.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Says
I love
Greg,
it.
Says Greg Seward.
Outweigh Phil by a significant amount. I just love that they're throwing shade in the chat.
I know, right? Oh man.
Wow. Oh, good times, good times. So we just got the Super Nintendo Classic here.
You know what I just got?
Huh?
You know what I just got?
What'd you get?
Burned.
That's Szechuan sauce. Pickle Rick.
Really?
Give me that Szechuan sauce.
Did you trade it for a car yet?
Yeah, did you trade a car for it?
No, I didn't. I didn't get any of that stuff. My goodness.
Yeah, you just mix ketchup and teriyaki sauce.
Did you get any? Did you get some of that at work, CJ?
No.
They send you some Szechuan sauce at work?
Well, you realize that the promotion they did was not at all related to Adult Swim or Rick and Morty, right?
Yeah.
So no, I don't have any Szechuan sauce.
I thought it was. Why is it such a big deal then? If it's, I don't understand.
Because
it was referenced on the show.
Yeah.
And McDonald's brought it back for some chicken nuggets promotion that did not at all involve the show, and they fucked it up.
Oh my god.
So,
yes,
this country's weird, man.
Hey.
Yeah. True. Anyway, let's get on.
What? Okay, get on topic. Jesus, CJ.
Let's talk about. We have our mini Super Nintendos.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo Classics.
Giving away 2 of them an extra life in 3 weeks.
Or the Super Famicom Classic. If
that is a pretty box.
You did get that. Yep.
I always loved the design of that box.
I picked up one of those, even though it has
pretty.
Pretty much the same game lineup on it, except for like four games.
But it does have a seat. I'm going to tell you about this game that's on that collection.
Panel de Pon.
Little game called Ganbare Goemon.
Yeah, anyway.
Known as Legend of the Mystical Ninja here. It's about
Let's talk about this for 20 minutes.
There are a lot of rumors about what Nintendo's going to bring out next. What nostalgic system can they bring out? Well, apparently a Japanese trademark bot has picked up that Nintendo has trademarked a Game Boy visual here. Like basically it looks like the Game Boy styling. It's the old brick Game Boy with the gray screen protector around it and the buttons and all that good stuff.
When you say Japanese trademark bot, is it like an actual physical
it's a little
robot?
Yes, this is like a little Aibo dog that runs around the internet, and when it finds something, it barks.
Trademarks?
Yeah,
that sounds adorable.
I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure that it is. I mean, how could it not be?
Okay,
but yes, trademark bot found a Game Boy, and so now it is stirring up the rumors that, hey, maybe we'll be seeing the Game Boy Classic Mini next.
I'm down for that.
That's why the internet went nuts about Game Boy this week.
I'm totally down for that. Yeah. Now the question is, do we think they would make it a handheld, or would they make it something that would hook up to a television and play a Game Boy Super NES, Super Game Boy style, or Game Boy Player style?
I feel like it would need to be hooked to a television.
Misa thinking that this would be hooked up to the television.
And if you have it hooked up to a television,
Well,
it's not really like it's not the portable thing. It's not the thing you're going to have nostalgia for, though.
Yeah, you'll have nostalgia for the games, though.
yeah.
But don't you want to have the pea soup and the
No, you don't want to have. No, you don't want that.
the muddy
every time
visuals?
I play an old original Game Boy game on an emulator or on like Virtual Console or 3DS or whatever, I am always struck by I can't fathom how I played through so many of those games on the old original.
Oh, I know, with the
brick.
screen blur
Because
and everything.
If you look at it now, it's unplayable. I mean,
it's pretty terrible. I mean, it kind of depends which game you're playing because some of them
anything with movement,
yeah,
of any kind.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
About the only thing that kind of works is Tetris, and that's just because there's no scrolling involved.
Right.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. I mean,
if they
anyway.
did it without a screen, though, couldn't take it with me. And
I don't know enough about the cost of these items anymore, but like I would just feel like adding a screen would be adding a lot of cost.
Or
I mean, the
probably
2DS, the 2DS
more realistically,
sells for under $100.
More realistically, instead of adding cost, it would probably be adding just a really crappy screen.
Well, yeah. So in this hypothetical,
you need to worry about batteries and I don't know.
In this hypothetical Game Boy Mini situation, do you think we'll see just black and white Game Boy games or color Game Boy games too? Or would they do advanced games as well on this?
I think you split them up.
It seems to me that including Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance is kind of like you're throwing too much stuff in one pot.
Yeah.
You know?
But you could do Game Boy and Game Boy Color.
You know what? I say not even that. I say do a black and white one, a Game Boy Classic, then come out with your Game Boy Color Classic, and then.
But if it connects to a TV as the mode of play, you wouldn't do the color games too.
I would do a Game Boy Color Classic. Okay. Do a whole separate thing.
I would, I mean, if you were gonna combine them, I would say maybe Game Boy and Game Boy Color, but I would keep Game Boy Advance out of it. Because I mean, between the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color, I think there's like over 1,000 games released.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a lot.
And I mean, it's not that obviously not that all of them would need to be included, but I mean, if you're starting to break that down, there are an awful lot of games worth including on something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the Game Boy, there were tons of games on that system.
I think it would be awesome if you could both play it as a portable system and hook it up to a TV. That'd be awesome. But because if you had
I can't imagine
to a TV,
Nintendo doing anything that is like a portable system that hooks up to your TV. That just seems ridiculous.
If you had to hook it up to a television, how would you control it? Would you have the buttons be on the main unit and you'd have to drag that around, or would you have a controller that would pop off?
Everything you're talking about makes it sound like this thing would cost $200.
Yeah, which is
that's the
control
thing.
it with Joy-Cons.
Oh,
no, I don't know.
So to get the
I would love
Game
to have
Boy
a great...
Classic, you have to have a Switch as well.
That's right.
I would love to have a great Game Boy emulator on my Switch. That'd be nice.
I'd take that. Yeah, I'd take that. Pretty cool. Well, anyway, the internet is swirling. They're percolating with rumors. Anyway, did you put Xbox Fall Update on here, Greg? What is this all about?
Didn't you see the new dashboard?
What am I clicking on?
Didn't you see the new dashboard?
Well, yeah, I saw a video of it in the new preview video that Major Nelson did like 2 months ago.
Oh, okay.
What's special about this?
I don't know if it's special. I just noticed it on my system and I went and looked it up, and that story was posted like 4 days ago.
Oh, okay.
I just found my not to interrupt, but I'm going to interrupt anyway.
Not to interrupt, but you are.
Yep. I found my old Game Boy Classic wish list that I published back when the NES Classic first came out.
Oh yeah?
The 30 games that I think would be fine to see on a theoretical Game Boy Classic.
Yeah, did you put that on the internet somewhere, or
I on November 12th, 2016, I posted it on Twitter, so maybe I will post it again.
Do it.
Swirling around it right now.
The internet will thank you for that. And I'll put it in our show notes.
So what's this about this Xbox?
It's a new menu. I don't know when you guys will see it, but I just happened to get it.
Let me ask
to my
you
system,
a very
I don't have an
important question
Xbox
here.
One, so I won't see it.
There you go.
Very important question here, Greg. Is it at all faster?
It seems to be.
Or is the thing I was worried about with the Major Nelson video of it a few months ago was that they basically hid all of the parts where the interface could be slow behind some animation that'll take a little bit for it to come up anyway. So it's like it's still slow, but they're just elongating the animation or whatever. They're putting games, they're making games like singular pages, and having to scroll through them all will alleviate some of the crazy loading that is on the Xbox.
I didn't really notice about that. What they've really done is they've pushed everything to that slide-in menu on the left side.
Yeah, and they were already like halfway there.
Yeah, so they've gone like full force into that. I mean, the opening
you go into the sidebar and then you
because
click on something and you wait for a spinner to complete.
Right. The opening screen is actually starting to feel a little bit more like you see on the PS4, where it's like the last few games that you played are right there, and but of course also with some ads. One of the things that I like about it is they've added Xbox Store gifting.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's cool. That's a nice touch. And something else I thought interesting: the final death knell of the Kinect, I guess, is that they finally have support for USB webcams, if that's something you want.
Oh, look at that.
So you can use that as part of streaming.
Cool.
Okay. Huh.
So
interesting.
Yeah. Because up until this point, the only camera you could use for that was a Kinect. So if you are somebody who streams using your Xbox One, if you wanted to have your face on the stream, which is apparently an important thing to do, you had to have a Kinect hooked up. No longer the case. So that's all. I just happened to notice it, and then I was sort of sifting around the internet and saw that this story had just been posted very recently, and thought, oh, okay, so this is a thing, They also have like a light design and a dark design if you want to change the background colors and things like that, and
that's cool.
Yeah, it's pushing more and more towards what they're calling the fluent design, which is apparently what they're using on Windows 10 as well. So they're just sort of getting everything in line. But yeah, that slide out menu on the left just has like 7 tabs on top of it now.
Oh,
so I don't know if I like that or don't like that, but
well, I guess we'll see in a couple months once we've used it and whether it's actually better or not.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about a little bit about sweary, because
we're a family show. We're not swearing.
No, I mean Hidetaka Suehiro, also
damn
known
farts,
as swearing.
Hell balls.
He had a game up on Fig not too long ago called The Good Life that unfortunately does not appear to have made its goal.
Oh,
but it was a very interesting premise. And when he put that up on Fig, people on the internet got really upset because his previous game D4 was unfinished. It was a episodic game that did not sell well enough to.
I had no idea D4 was an episodic game.
Development. And so they were getting after him and being very mean to a creator who's super nice if you've ever met him, and just a super swell guy. And the internet was being very mean to poor Sweary. And I wanted to ask, how do you feel about games that kind of start off as a series but are not finished, like Shenmue? Or
I'm very disappointed if it's something that I've bought into, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean,
does it depend on how much you bought into it? So D4 was a digital game, and I don't think it was very expensive. Like $15 or $20, and I think it was even free on Xbox Live Games with Gold.
Right. I like I said, I don't know. I mean, I think Shenmue is the best example of this, where for all of its faults, there were a lot of people who did completely buy into the storyline, and it was completely unfinished. I mean, the way that Shenmue 2 finishes doesn't wrap anything up. So you know, it was kind of a kick in the pants that there was never going to be a Shenmue 3. So I mean, I could see people being upset, but I don't know. You know, I mean, if it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. That's I guess that's the chance you take, right? You can't expect a publisher or developer to basically put themselves out of business to support a series that nobody bought.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like I love Too Human.
You're weird, man.
Somewhat ironically, and that'll never be finished.
How is that ironic?
Play in it. I don't know. It's not ironic at all.
It's really not.
Nor surprising.
No, I really enjoyed that game, but it'll never be finished. There will not be a sequel to it. So, but I'm not going to get on the internet and slam Dennis Dyack because I don't even have
because everyone else has already done it.
So many other people are doing that.
There's so many other reasons to slam him.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what about there was like a Mega Man Legends thing?
Legends.
Back up a little bit. I'll tell you, like, and this is not to say never call out an industry personality if they do something that's worth calling them out for.
Mm-hmm.
But man, people don't know how good they've got it as far as the access they have to game creators now.
That's true. That's very true.
Like, even like 15 years ago, you didn't have this access at all, man. Like they did not make themselves available. They did not make themselves known on the internet. And the only access you had was through like interviews on websites or in magazines. And I mean, you go back even further than that, and that really was the only possible way that you would hear from them or learn about them. Or so it's just like it's funny now that like I don't know. Again, I'm not saying if somebody does something that's worth calling out or worth being upset about, not to do that, but man, like it feels like it's so abused now.
I mean, this is great. I just right now, I told Cliffy B to go kill himself.
Right. See,
how easy was that
15 years ago?
How easy was that? I couldn't do that before.
Well, before you'd at least need his business card and phone number.
Exactly. Now I can just tweet him,
dial him up, and say, "Hey." Yeah.
I did not tell Cliffy B to kill Cliffy B. I hope he lives a long and wonderful life. So maybe I'll tweet that to him.
And the reason why this is even reminding me is because I remember there was a story recently. It was Kotaku that posted this, but it was a really fascinating article where it was actually a bunch of different. I think it was born out of a Twitter thread. There's a bunch of different game developers who started telling their design secrets, and they kind of took a bunch of them. You know, it's like things like massively multiplayer online shooters or something, where they'd say like if you were at the lowest level, I don't remember which game this was, but I just remember this one where it's like your chance to get a hit when you were spraying with a machine gun or something was actually jacked up a little bit because they wanted you to have that feeling of success right out of the box. Like it wasn't an insta kill or anything, but you had a bonus, right? When you first started your character, you had a bit of a bonus. And like that was the whole thing. And it was for single player games as well and multiplayer games, where it's just like, this is how we just, dial the knobs up a little bit at the beginning of a game, just to get you into it, make you feel that level of success and make you feel like you want to play more and, and help you learn. And there was like a shitstorm around it.
Really?
About developers are lying to us and all this stuff. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, and so there was this other article that I read, and I wish I remembered the name. It might have been on Gamma Sutra that I read this one, where there was a developer basically saying like, the next time you're pissed that developers don't tell you sort of or show you like how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
Think about things like this. This is why. Right. Like this is why, because I don't want to get, I think it's something that's very interesting that I feel other developers especially would feel is very interesting. But anytime you put anything out there on the internet, you get so overrun with this bullshit. This is why people aren't sharing as much, I think, at this point. Like they don't it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah. Well, to bring this back to Cliffy B for a second, the whole internet to do around how many concurrent players Lawbreakers has. Have you heard about that?
No.
I mean, Lawbreakers launched. It was supposed to originally be a free-to-play game. It launched instead as a paid game, and people just started to slam it because it didn't have enough, or it didn't have as many concurrent users as, you know, PUBG or Overwatch and whatnot. And now last week I saw the headline. It wasn't even a headline. It was just on forums that Lawbreakers and Twitter had 10 concurrent players. And
wow,
to me, it's so weird that the internet picks certain games to just like revel in the failure of them. They did that with Fuse from Insomniac, if you remember.
Right. Oh, right.
And then they're doing it with Lawbreakers, and it's just depressing. It's like we have, you know, games can be super fun, and they can also be just super depressing. Just the culture around games sometimes.
It's I mean, I feel bad for the people in that situation. I feel bad for the people on the development team, just because you know, like, especially when you got a situation where somebody like Cliffy is like the mouthpiece and the face of your game. He's a pretty divisive character, right?
Yeah. But you also have people who are not the face of the game who
did all the work.
Livelihood and work depends on this stuff, and they probably spent hours away from their family to make a good game that they believed in, and it's getting shit on the internet. It's just very, very depressing.
Yeah, well, next time make a better game.
Get good at making games.
Get good.
That's what it all comes down to. Oh God! All right. Well, should we talk about the games we've been playing?
Sure.
Oh, let's do that. Phil, what do you got for us?
Oh, you know what? I've just been messing around with the SNES Classic. Just playing some of that.
What you been playing?
Mostly Mario World.
Yeah.
Which
see, I don't know why you do that when you've got Mario 3 on your NES Classic. I mean, that's clearly the better game.
Well, I do agree.
I know.
And I also have Yoshi's Island on my SNES Classic, which is
second worst game on the system. I just read that somewhere. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with it.
I haven't. I think I've said I have not finished Yoshi's Island. I barely played it.
Yoshi's Island is outstanding.
I need to play Mario.
But I've been playing Mario World just because I haven't played that in quite some time. So I either skills have atrophied over the years, or Mario World is harder than I remember it being.
It's not.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? It's not harder than I remember?
It depends which paths you take, right?
Yeah, I mean, you take the alternate.
It's true. I was messing around in some of the alternate paths the other night.
Yeah, those can be tough for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Those are tough. Yeah, those are tough. Yeah, some of those alternate paths, I was dying, which felt weird in a Mario game. So I guess I need to get good.
That's right. How do you feel about that bombshell news that Mario actually hits Yoshi in the face too, or in the back of the head to?
Well, how is that a bombshell? How has no one noticed that before? I know
that was
obvious. I was 15,
back in 91.
Yeah, he punches.
I had no idea
every time.
Did you ever look at the sprite? Did you ever watch the animation? It's very clear he's bopping him on the head.
I did not even know that until.
I just assumed they just reused, because I think, aren't they just reusing his fireball?
Are they?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but I mean, that's. Are you aware that if you let Sonic stand still, he starts tapping his foot?
I am aware of that.
How's that for a bombshell?
Yeah. I am aware of that one.
30 years after the fact.
Did you realize that the clouds in Super Mario Brothers are actually just the bush sprite, but with the palette swap?
What?
And they have faces on them.
They do.
Yeah.
Well, the Mushroom Kingdom is a surveillance state. They're always watching.
Big Brother is always watching.
That's right. Yeah, no, it's a good game though. Mario. I'm glad I picked up that little SNES classic.
I only ever finished Mario World once. I should go back and
did you get all? Was it 95?
No, of course not.
Oh, really? No. Oh man, I did all that back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to patch?
Yeah, really.
Kind of metal.
Man,
you're not special,
Nintendo gave out patches. Like Activision did. I'd be all for it.
Totally.
Did you just not play the Super NES back in the day?
What?
It just seems like you didn't play a lot of Super
I
NES.
did.
Like, oh, I
didn't beat Yoshi's Island. So what?
I don't know. Did you ever
finished Mario World? I finished Link to the Past.
Did you?
Finished Earthbound. Well, I finished Earthbound on the Wii U.
Oh well, see, there you go.
So that's not that doesn't
Metroid.
That doesn't relate to Super Metroid on that at all.
Did you finish Bugs Bunny Rabbit Rampage?
No, because I didn't own that.
Did you finish Super The Empire Strikes Back?
Super The Empire Strikes Back.
No, because I only rented that.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a tough game, though.
Yeah.
Super The Empire Strikes Back is a very difficult game.
Yeah. How do you feel about the screensaver taking off your little your save states?
What's this?
Play around with that at all?
I didn't know this at all.
So the demo play when you just leave the SNES Classic running, it either like plays specific attract mode thing, or it can take your save states and play footage out of there. It takes like the last 30 seconds or so out of that and plays it instead of the standard game footage.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah, except that usually when I'm like ready to do a save state, I've completed a level or just finished a dungeon of something in Final Fantasy 3, and it's sort of not great to just see, oh, here's my score racking up for level 1 of Star Fox. And that's it. It's like not taking a section of gameplay, it's taking 30 seconds from the last save state.
Okay, because that's how the rewind feature works, correct?
Yes.
Where it when you save your game, you can rewind back like half a minute. Is that correct?
It's a different length of time in each game. Yeah.
Oh, is it really? Okay. So that's weird. I haven't really messed around with the rewind feature just because it seems like it's a little more trouble than it's worth.
True.
But yeah.
I used it once. And I explained that on the show.
Yes, yeah, we recall.
That's right, because I'm not very good at video games. Anyway, Greg,
what's up?
What do you got for us? What do you want to talk about?
Gran Turismo Sport demo came out this week.
Yeah.
For 3 days, and then it was gone. Gone.
What happened? Wait, why?
Well, it was only ever it was a trial. It was a beta trial.
Okay.
It wasn't a demo so much as they actually rebranded it as a beta, I think, the last minute. They've had like a closed beta going for quite a while. So they just gave everyone access, basically. The game comes out on the 17th. It comes out actually the day we release this episode.
Okay.
It's awesome. It's so good. Oh my God. It looks gorgeous. It controls just like you would expect the GT game to control.
And you don't even have a PS4 Pro.
No, I mean, I know a friend of mine does, and he was saying that the thing that he noticed right away is that all the replays play in 60 frames per second.
Ooh.
On the Pro. He didn't say much else about that, but anyway, so it's a little. People are complaining about this a little bit, and I think we actually got a tweet about this just before the show. Would ask BOMP about how can Sony and Polyphony sell this for $60 when competing games in the genre feature big campaign modes. So,
well, yeah, it doesn't have a real career mode.
Right, it doesn't have a real career mode. GT Sport does not have a career mode. It has a campaign, but it's mostly made up of what used to be the license tests and challenges. So yeah, that's a little disappointing for sure. But I mean, you look at something like Overwatch, they sold that for $60 and it doesn't have a campaign either. So
true.
I think it's pretty easy to justify doing that personally. But yeah, so my big question about it because I knew that was the case, and of course that's sort of the way that I play my racing games. So when I got the beta, I was really excited to see how the online stuff was going to work. And I really like the way they're handling it, because they basically have, and I don't know how many events will be going in the actual game when it comes out, but the way it worked in the beta is there are always 3 races at 3 different tracks with different rule sets and everything that are running not concurrently, but every 15 minutes, I think it is. So you sort of join for an event, and then between the time that you've joined and the time that it starts, you can run time trials, which actually help with your qualifying. And then you're matched up with up to 23 other people per event. And then you go do the race. And the thing is that when that's done, you're almost like, the way that it works, there's almost immediately a new event that's up to join. So you're not really waiting around for anything. It's an interesting setup, and I really liked it, actually. It's surprisingly enough, considering Polyphony's always had just a terrible time with their online component, and especially with the UI and the UX surrounding that. It's really smooth. It kind of like, it gets out of your way almost immediately. It's like, you interested in this? Yes. Okay, jump to the track, go have some fun. We'll let you know when the event starts, and you'll just be drawn right into it. Yeah, so really good times, and the races that I had, I mean, they had some server issues on the first day, but races ran really smooth. The matching setup seems to be really well done. I was always matched with people who felt like they were similar skill level as I am. I mean, of course, it's right at the beginning, so that's and only the people who are super hardcore into those games were probably playing the beta anyway, for the most part. But I didn't have a bad race the whole time. Like, I was having fun. I only won one race, but I was in really good battles the entire time, and I really, really enjoyed it. And of course, GT always feels great.
So these are all against real opponents online, or that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, you can do single events with AI as well, and the AI is about as good as you expect if you're a GT person. It's never been great. 24 cars on the track at once, that's big for them. The other thing that I thought was hilarious, so the interface is very Polyphony, which is to say that there's just buttons everywhere. A lot of things are kind of hidden under menus, and one of the things that I was noticing is that you can go to, like, when you're in the menu, it sort of runs in a tracked mode, and the menu's all around everything. And you'll see in the bottom right corner, it'll be like, to go to the infinity gallery, like a car that happens to be on the screen, press triangle, and you do that, and suddenly it shows you, like, here's all the infinity cars that are in the game, and you can look at the models and that sort of thing. But then you'll also see things like, go to I think it was the Hyundai timeline by pressing triangle. And what it is, it's literally a history lesson, which, if you understand the creator of this game, Kazunori Yamauchi, he is in love with cars and the history of cars. It's a very big deal to him. So you have, like, this, it's all presented in like a timeline with thumbnails, and then if you click on them, you get a little blurb like, Hyundai was founded here, and this was the first vehicle it ever made, and it's sort of like all these important points in the timeline, which makes sense. But then I noticed that there was another timeline that was running underneath it, and it's a world history timeline. The game has a full world history timeline in it, where I learned the exact date when Albert Einstein published his theory of relativity, and when the United States landed on the moon. And, like, you can go and sift through this timeline. It just seemed really weird to me. It's just like this bizarre. I get that they're trying to give it context, but every single thing there has a thumbnail and a blurb to read, and I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny. But anyway, It was great. I'm really excited. It's online only, and I'm not normally a fan of that. I don't like the idea that when I get the game, I have to play it immediately, or I'm really not going to get the experience that I bought and paid for. But I really, really dug the time that I spent with it. So I'm super excited for the release this week. Actually,
did you try now? Did you try PSVR at all?
I didn't. I didn't get a chance to do that, and that can only be done, I think, in certain modes. I don't think it's
really
game wide. I've heard it's great, but I haven't had a chance to try it out.
Okay,
this week I'll try it this week.
All right.
What else did I play? I'm gonna go back and look here. Resident Evil 7. I started playing that again. I decided I want to finish that. I am not playing that in VR anymore because I am way too big a coward to play that in VR.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, that game is just too freaky. It's good. It's really good, but and the thing is too is, like, especially on the weeks that I have my kids here, of course I can't have it running on the screen, but I don't want to play in VR because I have my earphones in, and if one of them gets up and comes near me and touches me right at the same time that I'm really keyed up, I'd be so afraid that I would just like jump 20 feet in the air, scream
across the room.
Yeah, so, it's funny because I was talking in our Discord channel while I was playing it there last night, and somebody else in the channel was saying that excuse me, they stopped playing it in VR as well because of the same thing, and he said that he actually had a moment where he heard something creeping up behind him, and that was the exact moment that his cat happened to brush the back of his neck.
Oh my god. That'd be too much.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm trying to play through that. Now that game is awesome. I've owned it way too long, but it's October. It's a good time to play Resident Evil.
It's a good spirit of the season kind of thing. Are you interested in The Evil Within 2?
I am interested. I don't know if I'll play it anytime soon. I've heard it's great. Yeah. It's getting really...
I have been hearing it's great, and I'm interested, but I don't want to pick it up because I've got too many other friggin' games.
That's the problem,
right? And it's full price. I want to be sure that I would get to it, and I'm just not sure that I'll get to it.
This goes back to what we were talking about. I mean, you're talking like AAA games have taken the place of sort of the mid-tier games before, where mid-tier games got lost in the shuffle every Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's the big AAA games that are getting lost in the shuffle because there's just too many.
Yeah.
There's too many all at the same time. That the release list between now and US Thanksgiving is insane.
Yeah.
It's already been insane, like the last couple of weeks. I mean, we've had a new Forza, we've had a new Gran Turismo, like we've got a new Assassin's Creed coming, we've got a new Mario coming.
We had a new Uncharted.
We had a new Uncharted. Like it's just insane.
Destiny. Yeah.
Destiny too. So yeah, and then excuse me, I'm getting a cold here, I think. I beat that little section in Metroid.
Oh, good.
On like the 30th try. One thing that I didn't say before, and I didn't even realize this was happening, so I want to call it out because for as much as that section was complete bullshit, the restart point was actually in the latest. It was split into 3 courses. Like you go through a course, you drop down, you have to go the other way, you drop down, you go the other way again. The checkpoints were at the beginning of each new segment.
That's good.
So I only had to beat the 3rd segment. It was the one that I had to do it like 30 times, but I didn't have to do the whole thing over again, which I didn't really realize was happening at first because I couldn't see anything through the red mist. But yeah, so I beat that, and now I'm completely stuck again. I don't know what to do next, but I have like 3 items left to get. So, and 13 Metroids left.
I don't know if you watched any of the Nintendo World Championships that they held last week.
But apparently that was the segment they played.
Yes, apparently one of the segments was the bit in Metroid that you were stuck in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of funny.
So anyway, crisis averted. I'm still playing for now.
Yeah.
But I'm completely lost again. That's what I've been playing.
I need to get back to that.
You do.
But I've been playing too much Golf Story on the Switch.
I gotta start playing that.
That's on my short list.
A charming little game that integrates golf into your little RPG quest in a lot of just strange and fun ways. So yeah, you can wander around the world map and drop a golf ball anywhere you want and hit it anywhere you want. Sometimes things happen, sometimes they don't. And little side quests that it has you do, like one of them involved just shooting the ball into the rough and getting it onto the green, just going through the rough instead. And then that challenge actually escalated to where it was requiring you to shoot it from bunker to bunker before getting on the green, which was
that's interesting.
Fun. Yeah, and they have like there's one area where you need to find these turtles, and then when you find them, you have to shoot golf balls into the water at the turtles so they can bump them and help you get them in the holes. It's just a fun game. The writing in it is really funny too, and I know it's really difficult to be funny in video games, but the way that this does things, the word balloons, the speech bubbles appear on the screen, and they have a nice HD rumble feel to them as well. So they sometimes animate and will tilt, and you feel like a tilt in the HD rumble. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's an interesting effect. Yeah, the game's just a lot of fun, and it was only $14.99 on the eShop, and it's like a 20-hour, 18 to 20-hour game.
Yeah, it seems really well priced
from what I'm hearing. So you guys should check it out. Golf Story. Last week I didn't talk about Star Wars Battlefront 2, so I played the beta a little bit.
Oh, I meant to do that.
Yeah, and I didn't really play a whole lot of the first one, to be honest, but I feel like in shooters like this, when you have a beta that just drops you into a game mode without really any explanation, it takes me a while to get the point of things, to like really like get a feel. Because in shooters,
shoot everything.
Well, yeah, there's that. In shooters, especially like a Halo game or Battlefront, I feel like I'm just, running forward, doing a bunch of shooting, dying, coming back to the spawn point, running forward, doing a lot of shooting, dying, coming back to the spawn point without really knowing, okay, well, like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Like, what is the team doing? And where should I be in order to make the most difference? In a game like Overwatch, I know that, but in part only because I looked at videos before playing Overwatch, and the tutorial in that I think was okay enough to really get me into the swing of things. And of course, there you have different character classes. You can kind of select one that is a support. I'm mostly support in Overwatch, so I really know what I'm doing there, staying out of the way and doing a lot of healing is what I do there. But in Battlefront, yeah, I'm just not. I didn't get into the swing of things there, if you know what I mean.
I hear you.
Yeah. So I played a little bit of that, and it seems fun. I won't be getting it though. I got the first one when it was like half off, but I think I can skip the second one because there's so many other games coming out that I want to play, like Mario Odyssey and Assassin's Creed. And probably Fire Emblem Warriors. So, anyway.
Fire Emblem Warriors, what's that?
It's the Dynasty Warriors style Fire Emblem thing, like Hyrule Warriors. Don't you know that's coming out for Switch here in a couple weeks?
Really?
This week, I think.
You haven't heard of that one? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't see why you bother.
How could I not have heard that?
There's a free Fire Emblem game you can play on your iOS device.
Yes, I've heard.
Yeah. So don't go spending money when there's free.
That's true. That just makes good financial sense.
Exactly.
There you go.
You'll have a whale of a good time playing it.
You know that Friday the 13th game? They came out and got an update, and they added Part 4 Jason, which now you have to be level 44 in the game to play as him.
You know what? I am never getting to level 44 in that game.
I got to level 44 this afternoon, I'll have you know.
Did you?
Yes, because it was a double XP weekend, and that's really the only way I was ever going to get up to that point. So yeah, now I can play as Part 4 Jason, which is cool.
Can you play as Jason X Jason?
Not yet, but apparently that's coming at some point. Uber Jason.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. I'm going to be very, very excited to play as
that's
Jason X.
That's the important one right there.
But they sold a $1.99 emote pack.
Okay.
That adds 10 emotes to the game, including a bunch of dancing and puking and all kinds of fun stuff. So of course I bought that because it was only $2.
If I know my Friday the 13th films, Jason Voorhees is known for his dancing prowess.
No, well
it's the
counselors.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
the unfortunate thing is there are no emotes for Jason because that would be awesome.
The electric slide.
that's a shame.
I would be all about that. But I did run into people over the weekend who were like, Jason, don't kill me. I'm just going to do a dance. I'm just going to dance here. Don't kill me. It was exciting.
Yes.
Anyway, let's get on to tweets.
Tweet.
All right. This first one comes from hacker alias Jerkface Killa, who sent an email.
An electronic mail?
What? Instead of just a tweet. Yeah,
interesting.
We get so few of those, but here we go.
Okay.
He says, "Hey guys, I wake up early to play video games before work, roughly 5:30 to 7:30. For October, I decided to. That's early. I guess I wake up at 5:30 too. For October, I decided to switch to horror movies since it seemed seasonally appropriate.
It's like such a terrible way to start your day, but okay.
In the morning, wake up.
Nothing I love more than watching a horror movie
Get to work and you're just on edge, just
at
shaking.
that spooky hour of 5:30 a.m.
I like to wake up with some Human Centipede.
Oh.
Alrighty.
And occasionally I'll watch a movie.
Yeah. One up.
By the end of the month, I will have watched 22 movies, one every weekday for the month. I usually get through 1 or 2 games a month.
Lucky if I watch 22 movies a year.
This has me wishing there were more 90-minute games. What are your favorite short games? Do you wish there were more? Do you feel like games have become too long and bloated? Examples of good short games: Gone Home, Abzu, Firewatch, and Journey.
Get to Man.
Yeah, that was going to be my answer.
Man.
Oh, Guitar Man.
I would so take more advantage of the whole like streaming services and like rental services that we have now if games were shorter.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. I think back to like when I was a teenager and renting games on the weekends, right? Like that's all we did. But you could finish a game during a rental. It was great. To the point that like developers and publishers were starting to fight it by making games super extra hard. So you couldn't finish it in a rental. But yeah, I would love to see games get shorter. I get why they're not, but I finish so few games now because of that.
Yeah.
Even indie games, are still fairly long. I do like that Naughty Dog did an Uncharted that was shorter.
Yes.
Golf Story being about 15 to 20 hours. I think that's good. That's kind of a lot of game for that. Journey. My daughter's actually replaying Journey.
Oh, yeah?
Journey's a good time.
She's having a lot of fun with that. It is a super
game,
fun
Journey.
I enjoyed Firewatch.
I'd be happy with 90-minute games. That's pretty short. But if you're paying the right price for it, sure. I'd be happy with like 20 hours. I'd be happy with games that all capped out at 20 hours. If that was what the definition of a long game was, I'd be good with that.
Yeah.
But now it's a short game. So
yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
Our RPGs, if we had more RPGs that were 20 hours, I'd be good with that.
Or even if they were like episodic or something. You know what I mean?
If they did episodic, though, you'd only play the first episode and put it away. Right?
No, I get it. But that's what I'm saying is like, because then you would have at least sort of a sense of closure if it was a shorter like chapter setup. And if you didn't like it, you don't buy the next few chapters. I realize none of this makes good business sense. I'm just saying as a consumer, it'd be great. That's all I'm saying. I
only had to buy 1/5 of the game. And only that.
Totally understand.
Agreed.
Yeah. Like King's Quest, that revival there. I only
is that
played
done
the
yet?
first chapter. I think it is done. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I bought
finally got it all.
Pass on that, and I never ever went back after the first chapter.
First chapter was great though.
It was good. I kind of by the end of it, I wasn't really having a great time.
It kept. Yeah, and that got delayed so much.
It did.
And
yeah,
there was such gaps in between the different episode releases. It just kind of killed any momentum I may have had for that game.
That's true.
Yeah.
So do we feel like games have become too long and bloated?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like games like Splatoon and Overwatch and those styles of games are things that you can just dip in and out of, and you can spend an hour and a half in a day if you want to, and easily duck out of that and come back to it if there's a Splatfest or if there's an event going on, like the Halloween event for Overwatch. I booted up the PS4 version and opened up a loot box and then turned it on. Yeah.
How dare you?
How dare I? All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias A Scott X, who says, any standout games you love in genres you don't normally play? For example, fighting, RTS, simulation, etc.
I would say, and I can't think of one by name right now, but any games, well, I guess Resident Evil 7 is a good example. I don't play horror games.
Yeah.
But anytime I find myself really enjoying a horror game, that's the exception to the rule.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Somebody say something.
I don't know. I don't know. Not that I can think of. CJ?
Well, this brought the momentum of the show to us.
CJ, you're the one who
Can't think of anything.
decided to use the question here.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I like racing games only occasionally. I like arcade style racing games. Right?
Okay.
Anything that is more involved, I drop right out.
Yeah.
So yeah, Burnout. When are they bringing that back? Forza Horizon.
When are they bringing Burnout back?
I don't think they're ever bringing Burnout back.
Yeah, but Forza Horizon exists now. You're good.
Yeah, I'm totally good on that. I was actually kind of curious about Need for Speed, the new one.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't want to get my hopes up, but
I'll be watching videos.
Want to get my hopes up. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. NFL Blitz, that's a genre.
That's a good example. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Enjoy, but I like Playgrounds. I thought was pretty good.
I was going to say NBA Jam back in the day.
Yeah, I liked NBA Jam quite a bit.
I will not play a basketball game, but
NBA Jam is fun.
Yeah, I think part of why sports games and fighting games have left me in the dust, even shooters to an extent, is I just don't like the complications that they've added to it. Like gameplay in sports games used to be so easy and fun and pick up and play, and you didn't need to know like all the ins and outs of the sport
because they didn't represent all the ins and outs of the sport.
Well, yeah. And now they do
because they couldn't.
Now that they do, I have little interest. I remember the first time I played I think it was Acclaimed at a baseball game on the N64, and they used the analog stick to like choose where you hit the ball.
I remember that.
And I was like, this is where sports games have officially lost me.
Absolutely.
Because I like being able to hit the A button and hit the ball.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. I was thinking about that too. I forget the name of the series, but yeah, Acclaim on the N64 they had, and I remember all the real crazy sports fanatics in the office were excited about it because you use the analog stick to choose where you hit, but I think you could also choose the angle.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well.
Yeah.
You could, and incredible amount of freedom, but yeah, it's like I couldn't hit a thing.
Yeah,
I don't know where the ball's going to go. I don't know.
Like, this is the worst. Like bring back bases loaded and RBI, and I'm fine.
Yeah. As soon as you ask me to do more than like just try to time my swing to the point where the ball is over the plate, I am useless.
About as technical as I get is in golf games where they have the meter. And even then, it's just I'm pressing one button or I'm adjusting the analog stick. I don't have to do it like in real time, like make sure the angle of the analog stick is so perfect when I hit the button.
Actually, that's a great point too. I would say that like Mario Golf Story, I'm assuming, and like in the Hot Shots series or Everybody's Golf series, definitely another one where I would never pick up like a Tiger Woods game or PGA Tour game from back in the day. Like that's not for me at all. But I happily play those games.
Yeah, sports games back in the day used to be I'll play them even though I don't watch the sport because they're fun games. And golf games to me are still that way where I don't watch any golf. I don't know anything about the sport at all, but I will play Golf Story and I'll play Everybody's Golf and have a ton of fun with those.
Yes.
Yep.
So, all right. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias. Grim Grinning Guy who says, do you think Nintendo will ever allow family sharing? Want to give son a Switch, but don't want to buy digital twice?
Nope.
I don't think they will. I had hope for it, but now I think they're kind of deep into it, and I don't think they're going to do it.
No,
but that would be nice for sure.
Yeah, it would. That's when you guys bought extra Switches for your kids. That was always like to me that would be the biggest barrier of entry.
Yeah,
having to buy another copy of the game.
It's the same reason why. I mean, it's the same reason why I never really jumped on the idea of buying 2DSs for my kids.
Yeah,
because I don't want to, I mean, if I have the cartridges, fantastic, but I just, I hate not being able to share the games with them. I get.
It would be very nice if even make it part of the online service they're going to charge $20 for or whatever, and have family accounts be part of that. So if you're paying $20 for it, you can have up to 3 family members.
And I get why they don't do it, because it can be so abused. I mean, it was so abused on the PlayStation Network.
Oh my God,
game sharing was sharing. Yeah, the game sharing thing. I get that, but I don't know. I mean, you got to wonder if it makes more sense to do it anyway. Kind of like the same idea with like DRM. From a purely business standpoint, DRM makes sense.
Yeah,
like heavy DRM, because you don't want your game pirated. But from a consumer service standpoint, it makes 0 sense.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, I don't think they'll ever allow it.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
What I want them to do is cloud save.
That would be nice.
Even more than family sharing, even though I really want them to do family sharing, I want cloud saves. And, they announced it as part of the DNA deal back, I don't know how many years now, 3-4 years ago.
4 years ago.
They said cloud services as part of that, and they have not done cloud saves. And it really sucks because, what happens if your Switch breaks and all of your saves go poof?
Yep.
Not good. Anyway, let's do this one from hacker alias Benjamin Rivers, who says, have you ever given up on a game after a crash or a specific bug despite a large time investment?
Probably. Actually, here we go. Chrono Cross.
I've
never finished Chrono Cross.
Oh,
because
that's where that extra 0.5 went.
Oh, now
we
talked
about the end of the game.
We talked about this on the previous review show, because I was right at the end, and the game had the build that I was playing had a bug. It wasn't a crash, but it was a blocker. You just couldn't get any further. At this certain scene, you couldn't exit the scene, which meant that you couldn't continue the game. I think the person I was talking to at the time about it was like I was a couple hours away from the end at that point. So yeah, and I never did go back and finish it and I would have had the save file too, but I just didn't. I didn't want to do it. I remember. I've finished Metroid, but I remember when I was a kid, I had a sleepover at a friend's house, and he had Metroid. No, we borrowed Metroid from another friend, and we decided we were going to play through it. And we spent the entire night playing through this game, mapping it ourselves, because this was the late 80s,
of course.
And we've been playing it for hours, and we were on our way up into the last area where, all the Metroids are, and you're going to fight Mother Brain and everything like that. Paused the game, got up to go get a drink. We both went to the kitchen to get a snack, basically. Came back, no word of a lie. I picked up the controller, didn't touch a thing. Screen went black. Game reset itself. And we hadn't been getting passwords or anything.
Oh.
We did not go back and finish that game together. We gave it back to our friend the next day.
Heartbreaking.
He wasn't our friend anymore.
That is heartbreaking.
But I did finish it eventually.
I had situations, and you may have too, where you'd play the review copy and the save wouldn't be compatible with the production version. And you would just be like, well, that's as far as I'm getting in that game, I guess. Or Donkey Kong 64. So I finished that game.
God, why?
Did you really?
I finished Donkey Kong 64. Yeah. And I wanted to bring my save along, and we actually got a production version of the game and I didn't do it, but I was thinking about buying a copy and then just swapping it with the one that had my save on it.
Ugh.
But I guess really, what's the point when I finished the game already?
True.
And then we would have things like Jet Force Gemini. They came into the office with that, and there was a bug in the game at the time when they were doing their review tour for that. At a certain point, against a certain boss, if you died, if you used up all of your continues or whatever, it may delete your save like completely.
You know, this wasn't a crash or a bug, but back on the Saturn, I was playing Panzer Dragoon Saga. Did you ever hear that game, Panzer Dragoon Saga?
I have heard of that game. Yes.
I almost finished it earlier this year.
I was on disc 3 of 4, and I had the thing wiped my save game.
Ouch!
Oh.
Yeah, my save game got wiped. I don't know, like the battery died or something.
Yeah, the Saturn was always bad for that.
Yeah,
because if anyone who doesn't know, the Saturn actually required a certain size watch battery in a compartment in the back of the system for your save data to save. I mean, you could save on with a dead battery. You could save on the system,
right?
But as soon as you turned it off, technically, as soon as it didn't have power, but really, as soon as you turned it off, your saves were wiped.
Right.
Because the battery was the only thing keeping them alive. Yeah, it was such a stupid way to do things.
Yes, it was. And I was on disc 3 of 4 and stopped playing, and then came back to my game, and all my saves were wiped. And that was it. I never
Phil
finished.
Was like, nope.
Never finished Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Worth anything anyway, so he snapped disc 3.
Snapped all 4 discs and tossed them in the garbage bin. Said, I have no need for this worthless piece of junk anymore.
And the bigger problem too is that, and I don't know if the internet will agree with me on this, but the Saturn cartridge slot, which is where you could put the extra RAM card, for save games, was notoriously flaky.
The cartridge slot on my Saturn does not work.
Yeah, mine doesn't anymore either.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
The Saturn, still loved it, but yeah, that was a terrible design decision.
True. All right, let's finish up with this one from Hacker Alias Mathman 1024, who says, "My son wants to know why you say Hacker Alias when you read, and any answer I provide will be insufficient."
What I think, tell him this. Tell him it was Phil's idea, and if he watches The Matrix, he'll realize that they stole it from the Player One podcast.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, you started it, Phil.
I did start that.
We didn't used to. I don't even know what we said before that.
Probably just
nothing.
Probably, yeah. You probably just said, "Oh, this is a message from Mathman 1024."
Right.
There was a 4 Play uses it too.
Do they really?
Yeah,
so yeah,
they stole it from us.
So it comes from The Matrix.
Yes.
When the scene where they're interrogating Neo the first time, and how you live under the hacker alias,
and he really chews out that phrase.
Yeah,
it goes by the hacker alias Neo.
I forget the name of the actor.
Hugo Weaving.
Thank you.
Hugo Weaving is his name.
But some people who haven't been listening to the show for 10 years might not remember that there was a time that we rotated hosting duties.
That's true.
Every week.
Yep.
Every week.
Yep.
We should do that. We should bring that back.
Yeah.
No, we shouldn't. I believe the reason we stopped doing that was because of Phil.
Because of me.
We didn't want Phil to host anymore. But anyway,
the show just goes in every direction.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a time when we rotated hosting duties every single week. And so at some point, Phil started saying hacker alias for usernames for questions. So
and it stuck.
And it stuck.
Hacker alias Neo.
It's right up there with level 70 or bust.
That's right.
Level 70 or bust. Yeah.
Yeah. Hacker alias may be our longest running
gag. Yeah.
Joke. Yeah.
That's true. And really, you don't want to go back and listen to some of those early episodes.
No, they're terrible. Especially the ones Phil.
Actually, the longest, I think the longest running inside joke on this show is Greg's face.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That's right. That's
a true horror story.
Don't play that in VR.
Nope.
You'll end up kicking your cat across the room.
Okay.
If it sneaks up behind you,
Such a dick.
you know, it's like the. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, like what? It's like the Orville.
It's just. Yeah, I'm in space. Yeah.
Yeah, it's somebody. Sorry, it's just I forgot about this, and we don't get
What?
questions from this person anymore. But we had a listener that actually his Twitter handle was Hacker Alias.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true.
That was the best part.
Hacker
Goes by
alias.
the
Hacker alias.
Hacker alias.
Yeah, I loved it.
No, there was a time I was playing. It was either Dead Space or Dead Space 2, and I was playing that because I would not. When I enjoy my horror stories, I don't get up at 5:30 in the morning at the crack of dawn. When the sunlight kisses the horizon and the world wakes up in a glorious
Oh God, just say what you're gonna say.
cacophony of light. You know, I want my horror to occur in the middle of the night when it's spooky. You know, I want the scene to be set. You know,
Okay.
I want there to be no lights and no ambient sounds from the people going to work. So I was playing. I was either Dead Space or Dead Space 2 at probably 2:30 or 3 in the morning. I had been up for probably 5 or 6 hours playing this
48
game.
hours at that point. Bad meth addiction.
Yeah. Well, it was actually pretty great meth. But I'm sitting there playing this game, and it's Dead Space. It's very creepy, and it's I was kind of sneaking around corners, and there's all the ambient noises and musical stings to scare you. And that
game was really good at it too.
Oh, the game was fantastic at it. Yeah.
It's
And
such a great game.
I'm sneaking around a corner, and again the music's kind of creepy building, and then there was an earthquake.
Oh God.
And there was a good 30 seconds where I was and again it was like 3 a.m, so I was exhausted. And I'm just kind of, half asleep anyway, where there was a good 30 seconds where I was convinced that the game was doing this, and something has had I don't understand why is the house shaking? Is the aliens coming to get me?
That still reminds me of the story when you guys had Ethan convinced that the game was so powerful it was turning off his TV.
Was that Airblade? I want to say that was Airblade for the PlayStation 2.
There was one E3 where at the various hardware parties he had the free drinks, right?
Yeah.
And went back to the Figueroa Hotel, which is where all of the Ziff journalists stayed, and flipped on Conan O'Brien, and it was the episode where they did it all in claymation, or they did like half the show in claymation.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Thought I was seeing things. I thought
I must be really drunk because Conan looks like a California raisin.
Exactly.
You must have been really gone. My goodness.
I know. I don't do that anymore in my advanced age.
Yeah. Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct it to @P1Podcast on the Twitters. Or, hey, you know what? It'd be super swell and awesome if you would tell a friend about the show, or maybe review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Mm-hmm. That would be super duper sweet, yo.
Oh, that was a rare CJ voice right there.
Yeah. Is that the podcast reviewer voice?
That's yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Podcast reviewer voice.
5 stars your bust, everyone.
Level 70 your bust. Yeah. So that would be super awesome. We're getting up next week or maybe the week after is our 11-year anniversary.
Oh God, is it really?
Yikes.
11 years of this.
Yikes.
Crap. Yeah, we've done 570 of these. Yeesh.
Man,
a lot. Anyway, if you go to www.player1podcast.com/571, you can get the show notes for this episode. here. I put links to things we talked about and games we talked about.
Full lyrics to that song I was singing at the start of the show.
Nope. Nope. Not at all.
That was All Star by Shrek.
Yep.
Oh,
that's
by
Shrek original soundtrack.
Okay,
is who performed that song originally.
You don't even have to Shazam it. Yep. If you're on playerbunpodcast.com, you can also find Generation 16 episodes that we post there.
The new episode is out this week.
Occasional blog entries about Sega CD stuff.
That'll be a while.
There's also a message board where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting playeronepodcast.com or by going to Apple Podcasts.
You got it.
Is that what they call it these days?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Or Google. We're on Google Play, I think.
Are we on Google Play too?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Go. Just, you know what? Go to the internet
and say, post online that you enjoy this show.
I don't know.
That's how that works. Yeah.
Yeah. And then go to the App Store.
No.
Huh?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Get the Player One Podcast.
God, this has gotten terrible.
See, this is what happens. CJ, you try and get me a new script or something.
Okay.
$1.99 get you the Player One Podcast iPhone application. What do you feel about that $1.99 there, Greg?
Oh, it's cheap.
Yeah, it is. It is. Gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails, and hey, someone wrote an email.
Yeah,
so
it works.
That works. Don't have to cross that off like the voicemail. Via the email, the Twitters, the what have you. You also have all of our episodes already streamed right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone, telephone users, the Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for your listening device as well for that same $1.99.
Also cheap.
Find that right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace. We're on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook if you still have Facebook.
Sure.
And you can catch us. You can see archives of our show or catch us live most weeks on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast. And if you've liked what you've heard for the past 11-ish years almost, and how could you can head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. Keeps CJ. What does it keep you in these days, CJ?
I don't know.
Don't have anything around?
Nope.
Okay, well. What does he have? It keeps him in little tiny video game systems.
Tiny Super Famicoms.
Tiny Super Famicoms.
Wee little Super Famicoms.
I never had a Super Famicom before, and now I do.
Now you have a tiny one.
That's right.
Yeah. And if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to generation-16.com where you'll find the Patreon link to help support Greg Stewart's outstanding web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis. New episode launches this week. If you are a Patreon supporter, however, you watched it like a week ago.
Yep.
True.
So,
and all the footage has been captured for the next episode.
Holy free holies. Awesome. Yeah. New episode is fantastic, Greg.
Thanks, man.
I don't mind telling you.
Appreciate that.
I want to get that game now.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know. That's.
It would be cheaper to buy an EverDrive and download a ROM.
Oh, jeez.
And EverDrives ain't cheap. So
I don't want to spoil what game it is because I know you like to keep that a surprise. So, but that game has some legacy that I was not aware that it was connected to one of my favorite TurboGrafx 16 games, and the one of which I speak.
Yeah, so, that's also my favorite TurboGrafx 16 game.
It's a really great TurboGrafx 16 game.
Yeah,
the mystery game that we will not talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah,
let's
do it.
420, blaze it, laser it.
What?
I was
blazing lasers.
No, I was just dropping hints.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
Jeez. CJ?
Yeah?
CJ?
Yeah?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Phil.
For joining us this week for your hosting duty.
Duty.
Gregory,
Yo.
thank you so much for all this.
Hey, man. Thank you.
Thank you. And Phil, thank you for being so great. Shucks, I can't help it. I guess we'll see
God.
everybody next week.
Sure.
I will not be here next week.
Oh,
What?
really?
No.
Where are you going to be?
I am going to be at the Canada Games Expo in Montreal.
Canada Game Expo. Wow.
Nice. All right.
As a speaker. So,
Oh, what are you speaking about?
game development.
Oh, sweet.
I got to start studying because I don't know what.
Yeah.
Pick your brain a little bit, CJ.
Okay.
I gotta see what's going on. I should be back by next Sunday. I might be going down to Portland for the Portland Classic Game Expo or whatever it's called.
Nice. Those are always a good time.
Yeah. I've never been to the Portland one, so
Cool.
I'm looking forward to it.
So this is gonna be a rare CJ only episode where I
that
gaming Steve.
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna want to tune into that.
It's gonna be.
Well, I
deep,
might be back.
man.
I might be back and ready to go on Sunday.
Ethan might be here.
Okay.
Yeah, you two can talk
Yeah,
about
Let's talk business.
Star Wars loot crates.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
I don't think anyone wants us to, except for maybe one guy.
No, no more.
Next week, folks.
Later.
Toodles.
Bye.